Hey guys, welcome back to Powerstroke Boys. In this video, we're going to be installing and doing a review of the SPELAB intake on our 7.3 Powerstroke. Let's get started. Alright you guys, now obviously this has been unboxed and installed that you guys can see, but I want to give you guys a quick rundown of what comes in the box, alright? So we go ahead and open up the box here. Now obviously again this has been unpackaged, but you guys get the actual intake. You guys get some of the stainless steel hose clamps that are provided with the kit. Now these are upgraded aftermarket ones. The ones they provide are very cheap, I'm not going to lie to you. 3 of them actually ended up stripping out, and you get 3. You get one for the back of the pipe, one for the front of the pipe, then you get one for the air filter. So I had to go out and get my own aftermarket stainless steel clamps, so be aware of that. And you guys have this nice dry filter. I'm not sure if you can use it dry or you guys can use like a can-in oil on here. I went ahead and oiled mine. It's been dried for a few days, so you guys get that as well. Then also, you guys should get some nice SPELAB stickers. Went ahead and slapped one of those on the pipe as well. That nice little accent, and they supported this product in the video, so might as well get them a little representation. And then obviously you guys can see we have some ports at the bottom of the intake. All right, you guys saw the unboxing. Obviously this has been taken apart, assembled, taken off the truck for demonstration purposes. But you guys do get a couple things. I'll throw it up on the screen now. You guys get a couple mounting brackets, some hardware to mount to the back of the intake pipe. You guys get a couple brackets to tether off to something if you guys want to solid mount this intake pipe so you guys can use it for any universal application. You guys do get some hose clamps, as you guys can see. All right, so you guys see the intake. We did an unboxing. You see what you get in the package. Now, a little bit about my setup. This is on my 2002 7.3 Powerstroke. Obviously, I have an aftermarket turbo. I have a Borg-Warner SXE 366 from iRate Diesel Performance. I have an aftermarket catch can. My stock air box, my batteries, all that's been deleted, moved. So I have a lot of room here. Now, one thing you guys are thinking, well, this is a hot air intake. It's not a cold air intake. Well, regardless, it's an intake, and it's actually sucking in cooler air atmospherically. Now, I can verify that because this truck has the Zoodad mod. If you guys want to know what it is, basically come in here, you cut all the material out of the header panel, and you guys can get fresh, clean air through the actual core support. You guys can see here we have a big gaping hole. Now, if you guys remember my old intake setup where it was a piece of 4-inch exhaust pipe, it bent around here, came up, and the air filter sat in here, and I had a stud here with a metal bracket that held it. That works great. I can say, since I did plumb the air restriction gauge and the air intake sensor here, which lies in the bottom of the intake, which is this guy here, this intake actually does, matter of fact, suck in colder air once the vehicle is moving, obviously because cold, fresh air is being forced through the front of the grill, being the Zoodad mod. So it is, in fact, a cold air intake. Obviously, sitting at idle, it's going to suck in hot engine bay air, just like the stock setup, just like the S&B intakes. You're sitting at idle, it's hot air, nothing's recirculating, you're not getting fresh air through the front of the truck. So that cancels out that argument there. Secondly, I have my air restriction gauge plumbed in the bottom of this. Another piece, if you guys are lazy, not really mechanically inclined, all this is just an electronic gauge with a plunger in here. Now, this sucks so hard like your mother does, this will get shut. It will illuminate the light on the dashboard. Your air filter's clogged. It's time to surface it. Or, hey, there's something stuck inside the air box. Come look at it. That's all this guy does. Now, did I need to put it back in here on this setup? No. But do I like having things correct? Yes. So that's where the 2 grommets on the bottom of the intake come from. We have one for our restriction gauge, one for the air intake air temp sensor, and this last guy here is a bung, a 10 AN bung that is inserted in the bottom of the intake pipe that connects to my catch can outlet, okay? As you guys can see, I have a custom catch can set up to this massive catch can. I have an install video if you guys want to check this out. Check the last video, I have a full tutorial on that as well. Now, your guys' intake will not come drilled with these grommets with the 10 AN fitting, all right? Then also, went ahead and threw a SPELAB sticker on. I think that's just a nice touch, matches the blue filter, and just a nice little cleanup thing. Now, as far as the quality on the clamps, the ones that come with it are very cheap. Do not recommend using them. They're cheap China things. I mean, everything's made in China. Maybe I'm made in China. Maybe you're made in China. I don't know. Clamps that came with them actually stripped, and I had to go buy 3 aftermarket stainless steel clamps. So the clamps that come with this, do not recommend SPELAB. Maybe you guys can include some better clamps next time, but that's my honest review on the clamps. The brackets and the hardware, you guys saw a little while earlier in the video. I didn't end up needing them for this particular application. So if you guys want to, fix mount it to the stock intake box, because originally this intake is supposed to reside inside the stock intake box. So you have your stock pieces, and this is meant to just kind of sit in this orientation here, as you guys can see. But obviously my setup is completely different, and that's the nice thing about this kit. It's completely universal. Even though it's advertised for our vehicles, for the 7.3 Powerstrokes, you guys can use it on your Miata, your BMW, whatever you want to do. Now, as far as the quality on the air filter, it just seems like a basic bare bone air filter. It's been dried for a few weeks now. Other than that, the filter is holding up pretty good. I haven't cleaned it. So this is a first look at it. We have some dirt and junk in there, but other than that, it's not bad. You guys can see, we can still see through it all the way around. So that filter is still good to go. Go ahead and blow that off while I have it off the vehicle. It's really not a long video. It's not very complicated. It's not a lot of setup, honestly. Again, my truck is completely not stock, so I don't have anything here. I can't show you guys how to install it in the stock intake box, but I can go ahead and show you guys how I install it in my particular vehicle. So I'll go ahead and show you this now. Again, we have our catch can inlet there. We have our wire for our intake air temperature sensor, and then here we have our plug for our air restriction gauge. All right, and then the filter just kind of sits right in this general area, as you guys saw in the opening clip to the video. It just sits in this area, and then again, while we're driving, it takes fresh air from the grill, shoves it into the air filter through the intercooler. And I'll throw some clips up now while I'm driving. You guys can see, matter of fact, this intake does get cooler air as we're driving the vehicle. All right, you guys, here's some footage at night of the intake. I got the windows cracked here so you can hear it. It's cooler out this evening. 86 degrees. All's looking good. I've got a turn coming up here at the end of this road. All right, we'll start to slow down. You guys can instantly start to see the temperature rise. Go from 86 to 88. Back up to 90 there. 96. Looks like it might have touched 98 there. You guys can see, give it a couple seconds. 94, 92, 90. Back down to 88. Then it'll drop down, probably back down to 86 once we get going for a little bit. Yep. So there it is. You guys can see the intake works. Even with an open box style air filter, it still draws cool air in from the Zoodad mod. Setup that I'm doing here, this is a Borg-Warner SXE 366. I already went ahead and I got the intake boot on, as you guys can see. It's just held in by two clamps, just one here, and then the intake clamps down this inner clamp here. And then this is just going to slide in like that. All right, very simple. And we'll just have to adjust the height on it with the clamp. And then we'll take our last clamp and our air filter, and that will get slid on just like that. Very simple, very easy to do. So let's go ahead and tighten all that stuff down and get all of my fittings ready. Get our wires, intake air temp sensor, our restriction air gauge plug. I'm going to go ahead and angle that so that's nice and up out of the way. And every setup's a little bit different, so make sure you guys just take your time and do what you need to do. I'm going to go ahead and screw my catch can hose in now. There we go. All right, got my catch can hooked up. I'm going to go ahead and tighten this clamp up. Now I can go ahead and orientate this where I need it. All right, there we go. Clamp is tightened up. Now the intake can't go anywhere, and you guys can't see it, but up underneath, you guys saw earlier in the video, the air restriction gauge goes here, and then the intake air temp sensor goes in there as well. And those will just plug in, and then the filter will go on. Here's our air filter. Here's our stainless steel clamp. That's going to slide over that like that. And that's going to just wedge on like that. We'll go ahead, we'll tighten that, and then we'll go ahead and do an overview, see what it looks like when it's done. All right, you guys, that's a wrap to installing the SPELAB intake on our 7.3 Powerstroke. Obviously, this is a custom application where this is originally meant to go over here and lay in the stock intake box over here, but I don't have any of that, obviously, as you guys can see. We put some ideas together, and now we have a nice kit, and obviously the filter is really easy to get to, has plenty of airflow coming up through the Zoodad mod up here in the grill. We have our intake air temp sensor, our reroute from the catch can back into the intake, and also we have our air restriction gauge, so all that functions like a stock intake would. So if you guys are interested in picking up one of these for yourself, check the video description below at spelab.com. You guys can put in your year, make, and model, and it'll pull up this direct kit for your 7.3 Powerstroke. They have plenty of aftermarket stuff for any vehicle if you guys are looking for it. Make sure you guys check them out. Thanks again to SPELAB for sponsoring this video. Again, guys, this is not a paid endorsement or a paid install. They simply asked me to install this, give them my honest review, and make a video. So here we are, guys. Sometimes companies are willing to reach out, and sometimes you guys, to move up in life, you have to be willing to accept a bargain, if you will. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Make sure you guys like the video, comment, subscribe, turn the notification bell on. We'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks.